But I'ma write that dick and rip that shit up. I'm SING, single as fuck. Fuck that nigga, get his money, then I pour. About a fine gay man that I just want to flirt a little bit. Like, I know you don't want me. You know, that's cool. I was about to say I don't want you, but anyway, I'm gonna flirt, baby. I want to see if I got it.
Wait.
Oops, I did it again.
Don't do it.
Welcome to another brand new episode of the Kris Avalon Show.
Unfiltered.
Well, hello. I might have to say that may be the gayest opening that we have had in the history of Kris Avalon Unfiltered, but that remains to be seen. Happy Pride Weekend, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Ooh, my microphone is in the picture. Hold on. Please hold. Okay. So, welcome to an episode of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. This is going to be our all Pride edition, so it's just nothing but LGBT topics. Normally, it's always about, I give you 2 hours of celebrity dish and hot topics and all kinds of news. We even throw in a little politics. But today, I just wanted to keep it rainbow filtered. So, happy Pride, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me on this amazing Saturday. We have a lot of topics to get to. We're going to talk about Madonna and her Pride performance a couple of days ago. We're going to talk about SAUCY Santana, who performed. Also, SAUCY Santana's pissed a lot of women off over some recent comments he's made about gays ruling the world. Who run the world? Gays. Who run the world? Speaking of which, we're going to talk about Beyoncé as well, and how people are saying that she basically resurrected house music off of one goddamn song that pretty much borrows some songs that came out 30 years ago. Yeah. We're going to talk about that foolishness. Also, Jennifer Lopez, one of her twins, has come out as non-binary or is using gender-neutral pronouns. So we're going to get into that. Also, we got some stuff to talk about with Disney. There was apparently, it might get a little heavy, but try not to. We're going to keep it light. We're going to talk about JUSSIE SMOLLETT. Also, Disney, there was a movie theater that, a homophobic movie theater, I should point out, that basically was somebody they were going to fast forward a kissing scene in the new Lightyear movie. So if you went to the movies in this particular state, they were somebody they were going to fast forward it. We're going to talk about that. And also, y'all may have to get a little madder if y'all have a problem with seeing your kids doing a whole same-sex kiss or seeing a same-sex kiss in an animated film, because Disney got another gay animated film coming out. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about MJ Rodriguez. We're going to talk about Dominique Jackson. There's a lot of Pose news. And a whole lot more. So yeah, but before we get into our big main topics, I want to sit and say, follow all this down below. Hashtag KA Unfiltered. Also, look at my ats as in at the Kris Avalon. That's all my handles on my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter, none on Facebook. But if you want, you can go over to krisavalon.com, my website, my verified website, bitch, and you can actually see all my handles there. So you can, if you want to do that, you can click and you can follow. My Facebook link is there as well. And all the good stuff. We're going to be getting on Mixler and Anchor and all that stuff pretty soon. I can keep my ass out of Facebook jail and Instagram jail long enough, because, they go hand in hand. Meta just don't like my ass, apparently, but whatever. I was going to cuss and say, Zuckerberg, but I'm going to just keep that to myself. Or just mumble it, so maybe they don't catch it in the algorithms. But anyway, now before we get to our main topics, I did mention that we were going to be talking about Pose, or a lot of people from the show Pose, who have gone on to do some bigger and better things. And one of the people, I forgot to tell y'all, some tea came out about Menudo. Apparently there was some sexual abuse and all kinds of stuff going on. So it's like that Lou Pearlman type of situation. You know what was going on with NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys in that whole era when there was some sexual abuse was going on and Lou Pearlman was big old pervert. That seems to be the ongoing thing when it goes on with a lot of these boy bands. You got a lot of Chester and molesters walking around doing things to these boys. So we got some tea, because there's an upcoming Menudo documentary that's going to drop a lot of tea. I'm actually friends with one of the members of Menudo from back in the day, Angelo, Edgar, another one. So Ricky Martin wasn't the only gay one in the group. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. I forgot to mention that. Thank you for bringing that down in the bottom. Because I'll be forgetting. In the meetings, we talk about stuff, and I'll be like, what are we supposed to talk about that? Yeah, you reminded me, Gert. But anyway, so let's get to this tea. So congratulations to the one and only Billy Porter, who the other day announced that he got the logo and everything. I saw on his Instagram that he launched his own production company, which is being called Incognegro Productions. And with that being said, Porter, who is 52, has signed a new deal with a first look deal, I should say, with FX Productions. So congratulations to him for that, which basically means he will develop content for FX through his new production company with his producing partner, DJ Guggenheim. Now, FX president of original programming, Nick Grad, said this in a following statement. He said, Billy Porter was an incredibly accomplished artist before joining FX's Pose to deliver the iconic breakout award-winning performance that helped define the series as one of the most memorable and groundbreaking in recent TV history. Billy has excelled as a writer, reflect his vision and unmatched style. Now, Billy wound up saying this in a statement. He says, I'm so glad I've been blessed to live long enough to see this day, the day where my queerness was my liability to now it grounds my work in personal authenticity and power. This is where we change the conversation. This is where they have the guts to tell the stories that resonate on the deepest level. He also continued by saying this, whether it's about famous artists who you don't fully understand, or people with communities you don't fully know, or biting comedy you've thought about but never fully explored. There's such a wonderful home to tell the stories I've been talking about my whole life. The FX team is fearless, and I can't wait to break new grounds together. Well, this is probably great and all because, you know, Billy Porter's been around for a long time. He's been in this business for 30 years. I remember before people even knew who Billy Porter was, I would see him down at the piers. He'd be hanging out, doing his thing. You know, like a lot of, well, in New York, people don't really care about the fame and all that other stuff. Like, we see a celebrity, hey, girl, and keep it moving. Like, I remember one time I was walking down Greenwich Village and I saw Sandra Bernhard. I nodded, she nodded, we kept it moving. So there'll be times when you will literally run into celebrities and it's like, oh, it's cute. You get that feeling, but oh, hey, it's a celebrity, and you just keep it moving. It's different in LA. But because, you know, you bat an eyelash and there's a celebrity. And I used to see them everywhere when I was in my, you know, when I lived out in LA for a moment. Ain't no way I like New York, though. I just love that energy. That's why I had to come back. But, you know, what I love about this news is the fact that, you know what? I know people can say what you want by basically calling, you know, Billy Porter the poor man's RuPaul with all his extravagant outfits and his over-the-topness and all that other mess. But I love the fact that, you know what, Billy Porter is basically positioning himself to be sort of the black gay Ryan Murphy. Like, there's so many, like, we don't have that many gay black powerhouse producer types, people who have launched their production companies and are making things happen. And I like Billy Porter. I've been a fan of his for a long time. I remember back in the days of the Broken Hearts Club and so many of the things he's done. He's been in the theater world and that sort of thing. So, and I'm looking forward to a lot of the project that he has coming up. I refuse to watch Cinderella because Camilla Cabring was in that shit. But what does he have? Oh, I know he has he's doing a he's directing a teen comedy from Gabrielle Union's I'll Have Another Productions called To Be Real. He's also been tapped to direct the episodes of Fox's anthology series Accused. And he also has a movie coming out called Anything's Possible that's supposed to be dropping on July 22nd on Amazon Prime. That trailer is actually on KrisAvalon.com if you haven't seen that. About this boy who falls in love with a young trans girl. She's trying to balance, you know, school and relationships and that sort of thing. So there's a coming of age movie. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Billy has to bring to the forefront. I'm really hoping that, you know, I'll put out there in the universe, I would love to see a movie, a biopic, because y'all want to create Elvis, and we already know what a culture vulture that heifer was. And I'm hearing great things about Elvis, and a friend of mine saw it and said it was a good movie. It's fighting for the #1 spot at the box office, apparently. So, you know, white people, y'all going to support that. But can we get a Sylvester biopic? Like, that's what I want to see. So, hopefully we can get that going, and Billy can get behind that, direct it, produce it, do something. So if there's an opportunity for a black gay man with a lot of power and influence like Billy Porter to tell a lot of our stories. Because if y'all waiting on Tyler Perry, y'all gonna be waiting for the rest of y'all damn life. Because let's keep it moving. Yeah, there's that. So congratulations, Billy, and yeah, so let's move on. Okay, so let's talk about the battle of the house music tracks. So last week we mentioned that what's that child? Oh, I was like, Drake released his album. Honestly, never mind. And at the time I only listened to a portion of it. And I was like, I'm not feeling this. And I think particularly why I wasn't feeling it was because he doesn't have the vocal range to kind of take on that type of production. Like, don't get me wrong, the production was astounding. I love the production on the album. I thought the production was great. I think that Drake was, I applaud him for taking a chance on a different genre of music. Irv Gotti tired ass. Ain't nobody listening to your music in 2002. I don't know why he was jumping in the conversation talking about this ain't hip hop. Girl, don't let Curtis Jackson get in that ass again. Like, mind your business and do right by Ashanti. That's what you need to be worrying about. But for now, back to the situation. I like the production on Drake's album. There was some bops that was on there. There was some songs I was like, okay, there's a couple of songs on here that pretty much were hot. But for the most part, with him with that monotone ass robotic voice of his, like he ain't got no range. And you trying to sing these songs, it just wasn't it for me. But kudos to you for taking a chance and stepping outside your comfort zone, which when you've paid your dues long enough in this industry, you have the ability to kind of step out and do something. Now, Beyonce coming out with, you gonna break my hoe. You gonna break my hoe. Oh, wait, that's not the lyrics. You gonna breed everybody. We're not breeding nobody. We're not gonna break nobody hoe. Break my soul. I know that's a song, but I like to change lyrics and things sometimes. But don't get me wrong, I like the song. I don't love it, particularly because it doesn't reinvent the wheel. And I think that's the issue with the song. Like, there's a lot of influences, a lot of homage. Beyonce loves to pay homage to stuff. Beyonce loves to get inspired by. But the difference is you should be inspired. And somebody tried to compare it to Madonna, stating that there was this, okay, so where I got this from and what got me tight, there was this article, and I saw somebody was talking about it this morning. That pissed me off because fans were saying it. Beyonce never said it, so I'm not coming at her specifically. I'm coming at the people that's saying this dumb shit. Y'all get so excited when y'all hear one little song. Y'all start going off on these tangents, talking about, oh, she done revived this. Oh, revolutionized this, that, and the other. Like, there was this one guy, Alex Vicente, who basically, I wrote down, how Beyonce resurrected house music. Resurrected? Where the fuck did it go? Because what the hell have I been listening to for all the years I've been alive? Like, whenever I go to the gym, I listen to house music. I work out to house music. I don't listen to nothing else. There'll be times I'll either listen to house music or reggaeton. Those are the only genres I listen to at this point. I don't like that Molly Percocet type shit. I don't listen to that tired ass music. I don't listen to the Duh Baby, Somebody's Baby, Baby Baby Baby, Lil Baby, Graham Baby. I don't listen to none of them motherfuckers. That ain't my genre of music. I listen to the Sweeties, the Carishas, the this, the that, I don't listen to rap. I don't listen to a lot of ratchet music. Now I have my moments where I listen to some ratchet music, but that's not all I listen to. Like, I'll have my ratchet music moments, but for the most part, there's two genres I listen to. I listen to house music and I listen to reggaeton. That's it. Now, so when people run around trying to say that she's resurrected house music because it's being ushered in the mainstream, is bullshit, and it diminishes a genre of music that y'all like to only check in on when your faves is doing it. And it's an insult to those of us true house heads who accept and love the music for what it is. Like, I have a lot of friends who are DJs, and I listen to a lot of their mixes. I go to their parties, support their music, that sort of thing. And for when you come in and y'all start saying this just basically shows that y'all have no kind of merit in what you're saying, and you just don't have any kind of social source of reference of what you speak. You just saying some shit because y'all want some fucking clickbait, or you want somebody to just say something. Oh, as a friend of mine pointed out, Rick, my friend of mine named Rick, stated, is that, you know what, a lot of these people, they only know what their favorite artist is putting in front of them. They don't do the homework. They don't really need to check for something unless somebody exposes them to it. It's kind of like what I'm gonna bring up about SAUCY Santana performing with Madonna. Like, it was good on both of them to kind of be working together because it makes her relevant, and then it introduces her fans and a lot of people to this this out artist, which, quiet as it's kept, I would have rather seen Cakes the Killer get some of that shine, but you know, she's gonna go for what's trendy because that's what Madonna does. But we're not talking about Madonna. Let's get back to Beyonce. So while I like the song, I don't necessarily love it because I don't feel like it pushes the envelope. It doesn't take it. It's like, yeah, you can dabble in house music. You can jump on the genre, but how are we moving the sound and the genre forward? Like, that's what I always try to look at when it comes to listening to certain musicians. It's sort of like, how are we moving the genre forward? Yeah, you're jumping into the whole situation, and yeah, I can understand the similarities with Madonna because they said like how Madonna revolutionized pop music in the 80s. Then when she got into the 90s and she started doing you know, the spoken word, and then she started doing the Vogue stuff, which was from the underground and brought it into the mainstream, and then disco with Confessions of the Dance Floor, which, let's not forget, it wasn't that long ago. Disco was the big thing. Like, disco, everybody was on disco. But am I not mistaken? But didn't Lady Gaga dabble in house music at one point? Hello, if you listen to Alice, the opening track on Chromatica, that's a house track. So she dabbles in house music as well, but she ain't getting the credit because I guess people just not feeling Gaga right now for whatever reason. And I have my reasons why I have issues with Gaga too. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But for the most part, I just feel like people just need to educate themselves and take time to just give respect to the genre. And I'm sure, like, when Beyonce is inspired, she respects the genre because from what I heard, and I know this is why she mad. Apparently, she was listening to Azealia Banks when she was trying to come up with brainstorming ideas for the Renaissance album. Because what I've heard before the song even dropped was that it's going to be a mixture of house and country songs. I remember there was at one point there were a lot of black people dabbling in country, even though, quiet as it's kept, country music is black music. Don't tell white folks that. So now a source close to the Beehive Queen told Metro UK that she was listening to artists within the house genre, which included early Azealia Banks music and artists like MNEK. The source said she loves the fact that so many black writers and DJs are thriving in the dance scene over there and was paying attention to songs by people like Mr. Jam, David Asante, MNEK, Camille, and early Azealia Banks when brainstorming. So she's been inspired by a lot of UK music. And here's the thing. They also said that before I get to my opinion, she also wanted to honor artists like Brenda Fasey. So there will be references to South African pop music all across the album. Some of her music videos will touch on 90s supermodel glamour, and she's planning to work with some Brits on her new videos and performances. Well, remember when RuPaul was kind of going, so there's a lot of reference to a lot of the 90s. So that's kind of the influence that's going to be over there. And look, I could have told you that. The UK, see, the difference with America versus the UK, for all my life, like, besides, you know, when I told her I only listen to house and reggaeton, growing up, most of the music that I listened to was from the UK, like a lot of European music. Like, I listened to, like, even when it was like the 90s there, I listened to Snap, I listened to CeCe Peniston, I listened to Barbara Tucker, I listened to Crystal Waters, Haggard, who I remember, like, when we were on social media, we used to talk back and forth at times. Ultra Nate, always listen to her damn music. And then I listened to people like Snap. I listened to there was a lot of those CNC Music Factory. Like, that was a lot of the music I listened to as a kid growing up. So, and that was like when the WKTU in New York, they used to play that genre music. I don't know what radio plays anymore because I haven't listened to a radio since Wendy Williams left to go pursue TV. So that was how long ago I listened to the radio. But for the most part, that's genre of music. So I like the fact that she is revisiting that. And you know what? What I hope is that her using these influences will get her fans to listen to and appreciate that genre of music. Because some of them tweets I was reading, oh, I wasn't into house music before, but now that Beyonce doing, here we go, fucking sheep, who ain't got a damn mind of their own, jumping on a genre because they fave is doing it. So that shit irritates me. But if it's someone who genuinely has never listened to a genre of music because their fave was into it and they introduced it, because that's how it was also as a kid. Like there were times when I would seek out artists, like I would look out for Morchiba and Bjork and everything but the girl and all these other artists that were making like the trip hop and the drum and bass and Ronnie Size and the new forms. And when they had all that genre of music, Aphex Twin, when all that stuff was coming up, because a lot of artists in the 90s was kind of dabbling into that sound. And I would listen to a lot of the trip hop and the drum and bass and a lot of that crazy electronic music, the Prodigy and all that stuff. Now, and then so let's go with the show, bitch. I'm telling you my homework. So when I drop names, y'all know I ain't playing with you hoes. So I say all this to say, I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to hearing what else she got on that she's gonna be playing on the rest of the album. And in regards of the dance music, the UK is big on house music, and a lot of Black artists are producing, writing songs, and that sort of thing. So house music is big overseas. America is all about what's trending and what's hot at the moment. Y'all lack loyalty when it comes to the love and the respect of music. You're across the pond, over in Europe, over in the UK, they love music. They appreciate music and they're loyal to a fault. I just wish America was like that because you bitches are fickle. But anyway, shout out to Beyonce. I'm looking forward to hearing Renaissance when it comes out next month. And when it does, I will give my full opinion. But yeah, if it comes down to it, as far as resurrecting house music, girl, it ain't go nowhere. It's never been nowhere. So if y'all trying to take all that credit, that's not happening. So good luck to you, Gert. Now moving on, let's talk about Madonna, since we were bringing her up earlier. So she recently performed. They said that you had to have like I think it was something or another, like the only people, they had to have like an NFT type of thing to get into the venue. So she had her own little New York City Pride performance. And I remember she had mentioned this when she had did an Instagram live with Sick Kick. Now we're gonna play the SAUCY and Madonna clip in a second, but I want to set everything up. So, because yeah, so y'all can get context of them performing Material Girl. So, when she did an online thing with, she did an online Q&A with Sick Kick, she mentioned that she was going to do a Pride performance. They said it was going to be on Pride Island, but it happened to happen at Terminal 5 in Hell's Kitchen, which, for those of you who don't know, is a predominantly gay neighborhood in Manhattan, which is great. So this was all to promote her new album that she released called Finally Enough Love, which is actually a line off of one of the songs she has on the Madam X album. That's like the one house record that she has on that damn album. Everything else is fucking, I'm playing the Handmaiden or, Brazilian Portuguese music and all that other stuff, which I actually like Madam X for the artistic integrity of it all. But is it my favorite album? No. I'd put it all the way at the bottom, quite frankly. But I love Madonna and I'm a fan, so it is what it is. That's what she put out. Okay. But she did release an album and Finally Enough Love is like a remix album of all her a lot of her greatest hits. I know she has a 50-track version that's supposed to be coming out. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but she has that coming out soon. So now, the spectacle kicked off with appearances from RuPaul's Drag Race alums Bob the Drag Queen, who was the MC, as well as Violet Chachki, Laganja Estranja, and my girl Pixie Aventura, who is a well-known staple, a well-known drag queen in New York, y'all. She ain't been on Drag Race and all that stuff, but she is a well-known drag queen. Like, she is loved by a lot of people. Like, she's really talented. Y'all have not seen her, definitely check out Miss Pixie. And And they performed some of her hits. Even her 60-year-old son, David, got on stage to do some comedy and dancing. Now, midway through the show, Madonna joined the Queens on stage, where the infamously tardy star cracked a joke about being on time for once. And that was due to, there was a lot of stuff going on in regards of getting people in. Apparently, a lot of people who had VIP'd, or whatever the case was, did not show up, or had their tickets held, did not show up. But shout out to a friend of mine by the name of Felix Morales, who put me on to the Get Together podcast. Now, I had listened to it a couple of times before, but the guy who does the podcast actually drove down to New York to try to see. He didn't have a ticket, didn't have anything, to see if he could get in to the show. And he was able to get in for free. He, with a lot of resilience, a lot of persistence, he was able to get into the venue. And from what I heard, they let a lot of the fans who showed up with no ticket in. Because, let's be frank, ain't no fans truly like the hardcore fans. I don't know what they call the Madonna fans. I know they call the J-Lo fans, the J-lovers. You got the Beehive, you got the Rihanna Navy, and you got the Barbs and that sort of thing. I don't know what they call them, the Rebel Hearts or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what we call Madonna fans. But they were resilient and people showed up. And so they let a lot of the fans in because, you're not going to have her perform in no empty venue. And I've been to Terminal 5. Terminal 5 is a cute venue. So shout out to her. I heard, also, so Tokisha was there and she performed. If you don't know who Tokisha is, when I mentioned reggaeton, she is a dembow artist. I don't necessarily know what her sexuality is, but she and Madonna made out on stage. Crawled all over the floor, did all kinds of stuff. But I like Tokisha. If you've never seen her perform live, she definitely puts it down. And I like a lot of her music. Like, she's up there, she's basically the female. I hate comparing them, but she's like the female El Alfa. So she's definitely a big deal over the Dominican Republic. So if you haven't heard her music, definitely check out Miss Tokisha. And also SAUCY Santana performed, so we're gonna get to that clip. But also, before we get started, Zachary Quinto was there, Jonathan Groff, so basically the A-gays. Zachary Quinto, Jonathan Groff, Billy Eichner, and Julia Fox. Why the fuck is she dead? Ain't nobody fucking with her ever since she left Kanye, or Kanye dumped her ass on the side of the turnpike. But apparently she managed to slither her way into a Madonna show. And Got Mick and Gigi Goode was there. Now, I also heard, I'm gonna drop this little tea, that Got Mick and Violet Chachki, who y'all know does the fashion photo review, where they've been getting dragged over their comments that they've been making about some of the fashions that have been on this recent season of RuPaul's Drag Race. I heard they was at the Cock the same night, and they was being shady. They were kind of like being dismissive of people, didn't want to be fucking around. Shout out to my girl Shavante McClinton, who's another drag queen who put me onto this team, and was saying that they weren't the nicest and the most welcoming, and made her feel a kind of way when she recognized them. And I guess she was going trying to be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, and then you getting stank, bitch. If you going to show up to a place like the Cock and somebody recognizes your ass because you laying it side, some dude got you walking side to side in the corner. Don't get mad if I recognize you. You shouldn't be in these type of venues, or just don't be throwing shade if y'all just hanging out and they're not doing anything. Because I've been to the Cock before, and it's like, you can pretty much figure out the type of venue the Cock is without me trying to say it. But I've been there, and I've seen Patricia Fields hung out in there. Like, you see celebrities hanging out in those venues, and it's nothing. Like, I be in there hunching, and famous people being, I don't care. But show your fans some respect. So but I've always kind of gotten that stank energy from Violet, and that was from my experience of her performing at the circus when they did the whole Voss event. Now, that's another thing. Since WoW is behind this is making me wonder. So we have season 15 of Drag Race coming up, right? Does this mean Madonna's going to finally make it on the show as a celebrity guest judge? Because you had a lot of the Drag Race girls on there, so one could only hope. So let's get to this clip of Madonna and SAUCY, and then we'll come back with the rest of the show. Roll the clip. LOPEZ hoodie. Material girl. You know, that is definitely a glow up for SAUCY. Now say what you want about him, and I'm about to after we do this topic. And I know a lot of you have. Because Miss Thing always be on a defense when it comes to shit. Bitch, you play football? I mean, you shaped like you could play some football. Like, you got that linebacker's body. But for you to sit up in here... Miss Thing always on the defense. But we're going to say that defense part for the next segment I'm talking about, because he pissed off a lot of women over a recent comment he made at a Pride event that he just performed at. But before we get to that, here's what Madonna said about, you know, when she was performing. She was like, New York City, you know, we are the greatest city in the world for so many reasons. And as you may or may not know, she partnered with NFT company WOW, World of Women, for the event. I was asked to perform at many Pride events around the world, but I would never ever turn down New York City because this is the city where I was born. I came out of my mother's vagina in Bay City, Michigan, but I was born in New York City. Now, the longtime LGBTQ ally added, it's a very weak crowd. Is the ketamine wearing off? Anyway, in case you didn't know, the reason that New York is so great is that I'm pretty sure that the first queer human evolved from this city. I think they came from the caves of Central Park West. I've heard this conspiracy theory, and I don't believe is a conspiracy theory. Anyways, not only is New York City the best place in the world because of the queer people here, let me tell you something. If you can make it here, then you must be queer. Did you hear what I said? Sings in New York melody. And she was like, you know, in the New York melody, you know, as they, you know, they thought she was going to say, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But she was just like, if you can make it here, then you probably are so queer. That's one more reason New York City is the best city in the world. One more very important reason, we have the best pizza. Yeah, give it up for the pizza in New York. And she ain't never lied with that. While Philly has the best cheesesteak, we got the best pizza. So, and I heard she only did like 3 songs. And then they had a DJ set and all this other stuff. So, shout out to Madonna, and shout out to all the people who basically performed that night and was able to really get their shine, particularly SAUCY Santana, because, you know, this is a great year for a lot of queer artists. I'm hoping that this is the opportunity to push more out artists into the mainstream because they definitely need it. So yeah. Now, since we were talking about SAUCY, let's talk about this teacher. So, during a Juneteenth weekend performance in Dallas, Texas, SAUCY Santana shouted out the gay community. Between songs, the Walk 'Em Like a Dog rapper explained to the audience why gay men are the blueprint. And shout out to Madame Noir for this story. He said, one time for the LGBT in this bitch, he told the audience, because I want you to know gays run the mother effing world, bitch. When these hoes need their hair done, they call the gays. When them hoes need a stylist, they call them mother effing gays. When them hoes need their mother effing face done, they call the gays. And when they need advice about they dog ass baby daddies, they call the gays, because we're the mother effing blueprint to this bitch. Well, while that sound like a cute little thing for me to read, with basically channeling SAUCY, I'm going to have to thoroughly disagree with him. Like, for you to just dismiss black women, like, they're basically just giving, like, we are the accessory to these women. And women don't necessarily rely on gays for everything. Yeah, they have their little gay, but, you know, there are women who have their gay best friends, and maybe there is some slight truth to that. But, the gays don't really run shit. I mean, y'all may be the movers and shakers and influencers behind the scenes, but what are we actually running? I mean, do we dismiss the many women that are out here who actually are MUAs or hairstylists or nail estheticians? So yeah, while there are gay men who are in the world of cosmetology, I don't think we could just diminish all the work that, you know, women contribute. I think it goes hand in hand. I think a lot of times gay men take a lot of inspiration from black women in regards of how to present themselves, especially when you look at drag, because drag, I always say, is like an exaggeration of femininity. Because some of them are already feminine, so it's they're embracing their feminine side and they channel that energy into other things, into their art, into their creativity. So it's they put it into the glam, the hair and the makeup when they take on that form of artistic expression, or when they're doing drag. So while SAUCY may have some valid points to some of the stuff he's saying, I do kind of feel like right message, wrong messenger. And the way it came across, it just sounded ignorant and it just sounded stupid. Goddamn watch is going off, child. So, but here's what some of the people said on social media. SAUCY Santana getting on stage and saying that women need gay men to teach us women how to be women is wild. Many others pointed out that what he said is proof that black gay men and queer men can also, black gay and queer men, well, we're all under the same umbrella when it comes to queer, child, but we'll give you that, can also be misogynistic. Of course men can be gay men can be misogynistic. They're men at the end of the fucking day. And at the end of the day, it's always going to be seen as a man's world. So while y'all out here, using women as a way for your, women are giving you this safe space for you to express yourself. It does come across as a bit misogynistic, like you're not appreciative of women. But this is the same person that said what he said about the Beehive, about Beyonce and Blue Ivy. And I find that fans were pissed off at Madonna for bringing SAUCY Santana out on stage. But I want to ask the Beehive this. Where was that energy when hours after the old tweets resurfaced, he showed his entire square ass up to Houston to perform. And we saw the video. They was up there applauding and clapping and happy to see him and shouting and screaming. Y'all was living it up in Houston. Where was them boos? Where was the, fuck SAUCY Santana? Where was the Beehive then? Y'all wasn't buzzing. Y'all love buzzing behind the internet, but y'all got nothing to say when you're in person. So this bullshit, when y'all trying to come for Madonna for bringing him up on stage, because she's not paying attention to all this shit that's going on Twitter. The woman is busy. She got a life. Was busy rehearsing for the show she was doing. She ain't got time to be sitting up here focusing on what y'all mad about today. So I don't understand the whole vitriol towards her for bringing somebody up on stage that y'all mad about because he said something about your fave. It just sounds stupid. But anyway, so this person said this. Men believing women are dumb, lack creativity, and incapable of functioning without their guidance is nothing new, someone else wrote on Twitter. Men believing women are nothing more than ornamental is nothing new. Disdain for women is not new. I don't know why y'all shocked by SAUCY Santana. Misogyny been here. Another person posted, SAUCY Santana is misogynistic, like plenty of queer men. Someone's proximity to femininity does not make them a woman, and someone's proximity to femphobia does not mean they can't be misogynistic. Another Twitter user pointed out that gay men do a lot more than hair and makeup. Exactly. And I'm glad you brought this up. Here we go again. Gay men are more than stylists, makeup artists, and a woman's shoulder to cry on. Activists, teachers, doctors, lawyers, and so much more. I'm sick of hashtag SAUCY Santana. One person did come to, we got to balance it out. Now, one person did come to the 28-year-old rapper's defense and said he was telling the truth about gay men's roles in women's lives, saying, SAUCY Santana did not say that we need gay men to teach us how to be women, at least not in the clip I saw. He said that we call gay men to do our hair and makeup. And I mean, he didn't lie. The top stylists in the game are gay black men. Well, truth be told, when you look in the world of fashion, a lot of the men are gay. A lot of the stylists are gay. You don't really hear a lot about women in those genres. Not saying that they don't do it, but there is a point to be made that, you know what? Women, at the end of the day, do call on their gay friends when they need to show the crown. We've seen a lot play out in movies, media, and that sort of thing, where they use the gay man as an accessory, or, some sort of we've seen it on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. We've seen it on Basketball Wives. We've seen it on a lot of those type of shows where they play into that. So like I said, while there's some truth in what SAUCY was saying, I think the way he said it just came across as just ignorant and stupid. What do you expect? The boy is ratchet. Like you're expecting him to articulate something ever so eloquently, or as T.I. like to say, expeditiously, because that's the one word he knows. You know, that he thinks makes him sound smart. But anyway, shout out to you, Saucy. You just can't seem to keep your ass out of trouble. Now, shout out to my girl Dominique Jackson and Adore Delano for their, teaming up with Saks Fifth Avenue with Stonewall Inn for its Show Your Pride campaign. Now, the queer celebrities appearing in the campaign include Pose star Dominique Jackson, RuPaul's Drag Race alum Adore Delano, comics Jess Tom and Sam J, and designer Christian Cowan. Saks CEO Mark Metrick wrote in a statement, "At Saks, we understand the importance of allyship and are honored to stand with our LGBTQ plus employees, customers, and partners. We're committed to advocating for equal rights for all members of the LGBTQ plus community, which is why we've chosen to continue supporting SIGB's impactful work." He continued by saying this, "The LGBTQ plus community plays an integral role in fashion, and we're proud to lend our platform to amplify awareness of the community's contributions across our industry. Even more so, we believe it's important to lend our voice to the ongoing fight for LGBTQ rights." So, shout out to them. Shout out to my girl, Dominique. And this is what Adore had to say. "Proud to announce that I partner at Saks for their Pride campaign this year at Stonewall in New York City." And she posted, I have the tweet and everything on KrisAvalon.com if y'all want to check that out. So, you know what? I like the fact that Dominique is out here making moves, that Adore is out here still doing stuff, that a lot of these queer celebrities are out here just doing what needs to be done. And, I loved seeing Dominique recently on Legendary. It was good to see her there. I would like to see her as a permanent judge, because if anybody knows about ballroom, it's her. So it'd be nice if we can get two different perspectives. That we can have a Leomi and we can have Dominique. So two icons up there kind of judging would be cute. Shout out to her. And speaking of Pose, let's give a shout out to my girl Michaela J, whose show Loot just dropped this week. It's with Maya Rudolph and Joel Kim Booster is in it, or is it Joel Kim Booster, or is it Bowen Yang? I can't remember. I know it's one of them from Fire Island. I haven't watched it yet, but I think it's Bowen Yang is on it. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that show. It's on Apple TV Plus, so I'm definitely going to try to check that out this weekend. I heard it's a really good show, and you know what? She's staying getting paid. So Michaela J, and I did see her recently. She did an interview on, I think it was NBC, where she was promoting Loot and talking about her music and Pose and her come up through the theater circuit. And Miss Mama's purchased her first home, so she's a homeowner. So congratulations to Michaela J. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna roll that clip that we showed, courtesy of her Instagram, of her becoming a new homeowner. So roll that clip.
I got a question.
We got the key. We gotta open the door. We got this.
Hello, new home. I'm struggling a little bit. But it's okay.
Give me that.
Boom, boom, boom.
This is
baby?
yes. If this isn't the most adorable.
I know. I'm so excited. Aren't you guys? Oh, it's got a cute little Tiffany heart on it. Look at that.
Oh my lord.
Right, here we go.
There it is. Oh my.
This is it. This is it. We're home.
Home sweet home. This is home. This is home. Couldn't be happier. Ain't that so?
Oh, look at God. Shout out to Michaela J. All that hard work paying off. She's a homeowner. It always feels good when you can, work so hard for something and achieve your goals. Even when people try to tell you that, members of the LGBTQ community won't make it into the Hollywood mainstream, and that was what we were, you know, a lot of us were hearing for so long. And now there's so many of us are on the come up, and it's coming full circle, and things are happening. And she's able to just be like, you know what? I finally get to own my own shit. It's a beautiful feeling. So shout out to my girl Michaela J. And looking forward to, you know, Beyond Loot, seeing what else you get to tackle in the world of entertainment, acting wise. So let's do one more topic before we take a break, and that is Jussie Smollett. So now he did his first interview since, you know, going to jail for like a couple of days. Now, in December of 2021, if you need a refresher, Empire actor Jussie Smollett was convicted after lying to authorities about allegedly being attacked for being black and gay by white Donald Trump supporters. Now, in March, Jussie Smollett, who's 40, was found guilty of making false police accusations and felony disorderly conduct. The actor was sentenced to 150 days in prison and placed on 30 months of probation. However, he has since been released on bond while his case is in appeal. Smollett claims he's grateful for the experience and says it allowed him to realize who his real friends are and expose the snakes in his lawn. Now, in a recent interview with media personality Sway Calloway, Smollett speaks about his experience positively. He reflected on wise advice a friend gave him in April of 2019. What I want to do is we're going to play this clip of Jussie play about what transpired, you know, everything that happened and everything. If you haven't seen the interview, definitely check it out. But I want to give y'all, I want to play y'all this clip. So roll the clip.
Bothers me more than it's interesting. What bothers me more than someone that says that motherfucker guilty, he's a liar, he did this. What bothers me more than that, those people are irrelevant to me at this point. Fuck them. They're gonna believe what they're gonna believe. What bothers me more are the people that are saying, that will say something like, well, even if he did do it, X, Y, Z. I think what you have to realize is that for someone like me that represented my entire career, but more importantly, my entire life, along with my family, represented social justice, represented equity and equality and all of these types of things. And we're fighters, and we fight with love so deeply. And this is what we preach because it's what we believe. It's like finding out that someone is exactly the opposite of who they claim to be. And so if I had done this, I'd be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say about Jussie, you really do, like, you real persistent with your belief. Like, he said he ain't do it, and he ain't changed his tune. Just like Monique, she ain't changed what she said about all the stuff that she was saying back then about Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels and the rest of them. He also said, you know, if them people had his number, they could have called him and find out. Y'all just immediately jumped on it because I guess y'all was worrying about how something was going to affect your career. He also said that he had a lot of stuff in the works. There was a Broadway play that he was going to star in that was taken away from him. He had a couple of projects that he was doing that was going to be taken away from him. And all that stuff wasn't working out. But then all the stuff that he was developing, a lot of the shows that he was developing, apparently are still in the works and happening. You know, we got B-Boy Blues out. It's currently on BET Plus. I already saw it during the American Black Film Festival. Anyway, I ain't paying no damn $9, $9.99, whatever the fuck it is. I ain't paying no $10 for no BET Plus to see one movie I already saw when I want to just buy it and purchase it. Because what else is going to be, like, I'm not paying that kind of money, like, and then what I'm stuck with, all of Tyler Perry's discography, filmography and TVography and old episodes of the Parkers and the Bernie Mac show. Like, I've seen all that shit when I was a kid. I'm not paying for no streaming service that's not gonna give what needs to be given. Like, there's so many other streaming services out here. I'm not subscribing to another damn streaming service. It's too many goddamn streaming services. I just hope that, and damn sure ain't paying for no BET Plus to see no damn College Hill Celebrity Edition. which, quiet as it's kept, that trailer looks horrible. That trailer looked boring. I would rather watch, this is no shade because I'm gonna watch it anyway, Ultimate Girls Trip Season 2, which is currently airing on Peacock, where you got all the fired girls from the Real Housewives who's out of the Berserkshires. Shout out to my girl Dorinda, because you know I live with Dorinda. I met her when I was when they filmed the scene, you know, at the Big Apple Circus where I was working at. They're in my section. I'm in the episode. Give them the drinks, and I love to point that out every chance I get. Shit, them Jason Lee and them could name drop every chance they get. I'm gonna keep talking up my scene in the Real Housewives. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Fader's on there, Vicky Gumbelson, so many of the other girls. So I definitely am going to check that season out. But I would rather watch Ultimate Girls Trip before I watch some damn boring ass college. Who gonna watch a bunch of has-been D-list celebrities going to some fucking college? Well, hey Sailor Mermaid, glad you could join us on our All Pride edition of what are we on? Kris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm bugging today. Okay, I'm back. But yeah. So I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Look, I know a lot of people are quick to just throw the guilty situation at Jussie. I honestly don't know what to believe anymore. And there's so much bigger fish to fry right now with abortion situations and that old COON, you know, with the wide back. What the fuck is his name? Clarence Thomas, and that big linebacker bitch of a wife of his. And that whole situation, him trying to, you know, he's going after abortion. Now he want to go after gay marriage. But we know you're not going to go after interracial situations, because then you'd have to denounce the marriage with that woman who don't even like your ass. Quiet as it's kept. There's an old story that resurfaced. I reposted it on my Facebook page. I ain't going to bring it up now because we got too much stuff to talk about. That kind of talks about, oh, he treated me nice. So they overlooked the fact that he was black. Well, I think he don't know he black either. So we got bigger fish to fry than worrying about whether or not Jussie Smollett fucking lied to the goddamn police. Like there's far worse situations. Like I just heard Kyle Rittenhouse has a video game that's $10 that he created where you could shoot at people like the media who make up stories about him and stuff. Yeah, there's literally a video game, and the proceeds will go against to him. I guess he has some shit going on, and he's using the money for some sort of situation that he got. I think there's some kind of case he's still got going on. He needs money or whatever. And you know, these alt-right insurrection racist half-breed bastards are gonna give him the money, and this boy will be, you know, a thousandaire or even a millionaire by the end of the year. Because this is what we do. We give credence and we highlight criminals. Like people, murderers and criminals, these people get to the head of the line. But those of us who work our ass off, you know, we get pushed to the bottom of the barrel, and it's unfortunate. But let me get off this damn soapbox, because we're not making this show a serious one. We're going to keep it light, we're going to keep it bright, and we're going to keep it gay, honey. So we're going to take this little gay break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Jennifer Lopez and her child who came out as non-binary or is using they, them pronouns. We're going to talk about this tea about Menudo, child. Like, they got a documentary coming out, and they're going to talk about all the horrific stuff that went on behind the scenes. Apparently, it was alleged sexual abuse, all that good stuff. We're going to talk about this homophobic movie theater who talk about they were going to fast forward through Lightyear over a same-sex kiss. And then, of course, there's a new Disney movie that's going to feature first openly gay teen. So y'all about to get y'all tits even a further twist over this, that, you know, there's going to be more LGBT queer content included in animated films. And it should. Hey, Robert, hope you heard my tea on Madonna, because we did talk about her earlier. And if there's anybody who's probably, I think I'm a slightly bigger fan, but Robert Price is he's like a hardcore Madonna fan. So we're going to take this break, and we're going to come back with more of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. So don't go nowhere. Come on back. Or as Wendy used to say, grab a snack and come on back.
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered, filtered.
I think it's important because we in the summer season for the ladies. Bro, can you let me show you what to do, Mario. This is how you practice, bro. Okay?
I'm over here looking at my fans on here. What the fuck
Play
is
that.
on?
Let's go.
What? One wish, one wish, one wish. One wish, one wish, one wish.
You know, I just find it funny that it isn't even June yet, and I'm already completely over the term hoochie daddy. And hoochie daddy shorts, and hoochie daddy this, and hoochie daddy that. I'm done with it. I'm done with
out.
it.
They got these shorts on, these hoochie daddy shorts. They got these 4-inch seams. They got their thighs out. Cat call them. Cat call them. Hey, gray shorts.
Okay, fellas, it's officially hot as the devil's cootie cat out here. So it's time to start busting these out. And I'm personally living for this energy. I'm so ready to make somebody a single father. I'm just here to give y'all a few do's and don'ts. Obviously, this is a clear example of everything done right. This energy right here will get the back of your kneecaps licked, obviously. Look at that thigh meat. They're hoochie shorts. We want to see them thighs. He did not skip leg day. He cared enough to moisturize. All of this is done right. The only thing is I wish I would see a little bit more print, but I'm not mad at it. I would still lick them kneecaps. If it's denim, we don't want to see you in them. I mean, come on, how old are you, 47? What is this? Another clear-cut example of what we want to see. He's actually filling up that center part a little bit more than the other dude, so I'm living for that. You see that thigh tattoo? We encourage tattoos. If you got your legs sleeved out, please show it. Don't be afraid. We want to make you single fathers. We do not want baggy ass shorts. I mean, if y'all don't want us in baggy shorts and when we be in hoochies, we don't want y'all in baggy shorts. There's no reason that these shorts should not be filled to the fucking brim. This right here is the longest that you can get with the hoochie shorts. There's a minimum of 3 inches of thigh meat that we need to see, or go back inside.
What she said in regards to Hoochie Daddy Shorts, bitch, I am here for that season. I will always be here for Hoochie Daddy season. Even when it goes out of style, according to whoever, I'm going to always rock Hoochie Daddy Shorts. If you have ever seen me at the gym or out and about after work, especially when it's summer, bitch, I'm always going to be in some damn Hoochie Daddy Shorts. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. And also, shout out to Naomi for giving face, legs, and body. Yeah, you know where I got that from. If you know Miss Candy and that horrible ass song. But anyway, welcome back to Kris Avalon Unfiltered, where we still got a lot more LGBT news. You know, any other time when we take our break, we come back. Yes, Leome Moyaki Mugler. How did Billy Porter say it? Mugler. I'm trying to do how she was saying it as Pray Tell on a pose. Miyaki girl. Miyaki. Mr. Miyaki. But anyway. Miyaki. But yeah, shout out to my girl Leomi. Yeah, she's still walking the balls, even though she's on Legendary, which goes to show she's not too Stella Murray to my I'm missing you. Well, bitch, you need to come to the gym then and you'll see him. I even got shorter Hoochie Daddy shorts. Quiet as his cat, because I went shopping last week. I was like, oh yes, short shorts. If you don't wear no drawers, you'll see everything. But that's why I gotta wear them, because I ain't trying to give these children no show, and y'all have a heart attack. I gotta behave myself. Now I can be conservative at times too. But anyway, back to the show. Yeah, so shout out to my girl Leomi. It was good seeing her in that clip, and still seeing her walking the balls and all that other stuff. So yeah, now let's get back to the topics. So shout out to Jennifer Lopez, who I was defending vigorously last week when people were trying to come for her in her documentary, because I was like, you know what, y'all were taking a lot of what she was saying out of context. What she was saying was not exactly what was presented. They were just misconstruing a lot of her words, just so y'all can get some sort of a narrative, and y'all can throw y'all usual shade about using Ashanti and Christina Milian vocals. Okay, that shit is tired. J-Lo has put in the work with her singing. It may not be the best, but she uses what she got to get what she need to get. So give her kudos. But also, most recently, she made headlines after performing on stage with her child, EMME. Now, the 52-year-old superstar performed at the LA Dodgers Foundation Blue Diamond Gala. That's a whole mouthful. Say that 10 times fast. On Thursday, June 16th, to introduce her 14-year-old child, EMME Maribel Muniz. And if you wonder where the Muniz comes from, that's Mark Anthony's government last name, using the gender-neutral pronouns they, them. The pair, who last made headlines for performing together when Jennifer Lopez co-headlined the Super Bowl LIV. I don't know what number that was, but whatever. Child, I don't do no Roman numerals. What is that, 25? Pepsi halftime show in 2020 warmed the audience's hearts as they took to the stage last week. In a video clip highlighting the special moment, Jennifer Lopez said this: "The last time we performed together was in a big stadium like this, and I asked them to sing with me all the time, and they won't. So this is a very special occasion. They are very, very busy, booked and pricey." So I do have the clip of all of that. Like, if you want to hear the clip of them singing and everything, it's on my website, KrisAvalon.com. And she also continued by saying, "They cost me when they come out, but they're worth every single penny because they're my favorite duet partner of all time." It's funny how Jennifer made sure to use them they, them pronouns. Like, she was real on it with the theys and the thems. And shout out to EMME, who has come out as non-binary in some sort of way, because obviously if you use the they, them pronouns, aren't you officially a non-binary person? And this is not the first child of the Lopez family that is non-binary. I believe J-Lo's sister, oh my God, not Linda, the other one, Leslie, I think is her name. Leslie has a non-binary child. And recently, no shade, but I just want to say there was an award show that Jennifer was at where EMME was there. Ben Affleck and one of Ben Affleck's children were in the audience. And I looked at EMME and I was like, and don't kill me for saying this, but it's a general thing that popped about. Is EMME a lesbian? Because she was giving me lesbian vibes. Like, she had the hair was cut real short and curly, had the glasses on. Looks very much, she was giving me Elliot Page tease in some sort of way. So I was like, what's going on here? But free Elliot Page. And I actually, sidebar, shout out to the way they handled Elliot Page's transition on the new season of Umbrella Academy. So if y'all haven't seen that, definitely check that show out, because Umbrella Academy is giving me my life right now. So shout out to Elliot Page and everything that he's doing. But back to EMME, you know what? I love the fact that we have kids who know who they are at a young age, and the fact that we have so many, so many kids are being exposed to a lot of, things when it comes to gender identity. So it leaves it open for them to explore who they are more and figure out who they are, because your teen years is the time when you're trying to figure out and you're trying to ebb and flow through your awkward stage, if that's the right term. So you're trying to figure out who you are, because I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of when I was a teenager, and you're figuring out things, and when you were having feelings for boys, but you're trying to suppress it, but then boys were kind of doing things that made you want to explore things. And I did experiment with boys in high school. And so, especially when you're from the hood and you're doing all these little things and things of that nature, and I'm not going to get too explicit, but when you're trying to navigate through the world and figure out your sexuality, your gender identity, that sort of thing. Who am I? Am I attracted to boys? Am I gay? Am I bisexual? Is this a phase? Like, these are all these things that you're trying to figure out when you're a teenager. So when grown people run around trying to say, "Oh, they don't know what the hell they want," we know a lot of what we want than you realize. But you need to give the kids the opportunity. So that's why I love Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade for letting Zaya figure out who she is, and so many others, and so many parents who leave it open for and are open-minded, because there's so many kids that don't have that opportunity to figure out who they are. And when they do figure out who they are, they're tossed out in the street, they're left, to be homeless and fending for themselves. And then the kids got to get a bus ticket and come to New York or LA, and they're homeless. They get caught up in drugs. They start doing all kinds of crazy things to figure out as a way to survive. So good on Jennifer Lopez look, there were some people that even said on my page, "Oh, is this an attention grab?" I don't think Jennifer would be that type of person. Now, don't get me wrong, she does have an ego, but I don't think she would be the type of mother that would use her children as a way to gain some type of momentum for herself. I don't see her doing that. But I do think that there might be some trouble between her and Mark Anthony, because when she was on her Instagram pages, she gave a shout out to Ben Affleck for being understanding and taking care of her and the kids and this, that, and the other, and being very open. And she mentioned her father and she mentioned Ben Affleck. She ain't mentioned Mark. So I don't know what's going on is marking the picture. Child, don't make us Virgos look bad out in these streets. You better be tending to your daddy duties with them twins. But anyway, so let's move on from this topic. So let's talk about, since we are in the whole Latin situation, let's talk about Menudo. So there's some tea that came out with them that had me gagging. So members of the Menudo boy band are detailing the horrific experience in a new documentary, which includes rape, exposure to drugs, and preferential treatment of Ricky Martin. Now, shout out to the Jasmine brand for this tea, because I was looking for another story that I could not find, but luckily I had some resource material. It's about, because we're going to do a story on Bad Boys Atlanta and a big old fight that broke out between somebody who y'all may have heard of by the name of Bruce Jackson. Yes, he's come out of his crypt, apparently. He wants to be on reality TV. We want to talk about that. That's coming up later on the show. That's going to be part of my little rant at the end. But, so before Ricky Martin, who's 50, came on the scene as a solo artist with his smash hit Livin' La Vida Mocha, he was a member of Menudo, one of the biggest Latin groups of all time. Now, in a new documentary, his former band members are detailing the horrific experiences they faced while in the group. Now, in the four-part docuseries, Menudo, Forever Young, Angelo Garcia, who I told y'all about earlier, shout out to him, who joined Menudo just after he had turned 11 years old, reveals he was raped during his 1988-90 stint within the group. He details a sexual assault, which he said took place in his hotel room after he was given alcohol by an undisclosed man. Now, here's what Angelo said. He says, all I remember was that I, passed out. When I woke up, I was naked and I was bleeding, so I knew that I had been penetrated. I had, these burn marks on my face from the rug. I was very confused and I didn't understand. Now, in the doc, Angelo Garcia goes on to reveal that he was sexually assaulted several times throughout his time in Menudo. He said, during my time in Menudo, I was raped in a series of times, and that was the way the predators would take advantage of me. Now, I also believe that I should point out that Angelo is openly gay. And unfortunately, a lot of times when you are going through those feelings and that sort of thing, and you're trying to figure yourself out, predators can smell that. Like a shark in water when it smells blood. Unfortunately, that's the way, that's how it can be at times. So, and I get back to it. Now, the documentary featured other members of Menudo, which included 32 different boys during its initial 20-year run. Other members also claimed they endured sexual abuse, as well as bullying, drug scandals, and oppressive working conditions. Members say the negligence, exploitation, and abuse they suffered occurred while they worked for the boy band's mastermind, Edgardo Diaz, who is described as their manager, producer, and father surrogate. Now, while Diaz reportedly denied the request for an interview, he has always denied any abuse and wrongdoing in his management of the group. Now, Menudo Forever Young recounts how Diaz's idea for the group began in Puerto Rico in 1977. Diaz reportedly adopted a fountain of youth strategy for the group, where the members will be replaced once they turn 16. Parents of the boys, many of them poor, would sign over most of their parental authority to the manager. Now, that's crazy, but that's the way it was back in those days. Now, according to reports, other members have previously accused Diaz of sexual abuse, including Roy Rosello in a television interview that is shown in the documentary, and is alleged in the documentary that Diaz is surrounded by unsavory men who would prey on the boys. At first, gaining popularity in Venezuela and going on to the Hispania in the U.S., Menudo found his most famous member, Ricky Martin. In 1984, Ray Acevedo, who was in Menudo from 1985 to 1988, said Martin was often idolized in the group, saying Ricky from the beginning was like the golden child. But Ricky Martin, who was not interviewed in the documentary, didn't make life so easy for the other members, according to Sergio Blas, who was in Menudo from 1986 to 1990. Now, here's what Blas said. To be with Ricky was brutal because he had seniority over me. So if someone knocked on the door, I had to open it. If the phone rang, I had to pick it up. I was like his housewife. So let me find out. Oh, so they were saying that well, without getting proper supervision and even security, the boys were also exposed to drugs, including marijuana and cocaine. Sergio Blas and Gomez got kicked out of Menudo after they were busted for marijuana possession in 1990, while new members kept coming through the revolving door. Now I need to find out, when does this documentary air? Because this is a lot that they're saying. Oh, it's going to be on HBO Max. June. Hopefully, it's out already. I did not know this. June 23rd. It's on HBO Max, child. So, I'm definitely going to check this out. You know what? I'm going to watch it this weekend, and I'm going to talk about it next week. Because why does HBO Max just drop it as now without even making any kind of promotion? I mean, are y'all turning into Netflix with the way y'all promote shit? Like, this is something definitely I would want to see. And you know, I grew up on boy bands. Menudo, I listened to their music growing up. Just then, this is similar to a lot of the stories that you heard from Lou Pearlman, who, you know, died in prison. But when it came to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, the documentary that Lance Bass did, I managed to see that. I think it was on YouTube one day, and I sat and watched it. But yeah, this seems like to be the ongoing theme when it comes to boy bands, and you know, a lot of parents are trusting into these people to make their kids famous because they feel like it's going to be their way out of, you know, for us, the hood or the ghetto or poor living situations. But you know, and over, you know, in Puerto Rico or any other Latin, a lot of the kids from. And these people just prey on these poor children. You're introduced them to drugs and sex and sexual abuse and that sort of thing. I'm definitely looking forward to checking this out. So yes, if you are interested in checking this out, it is airing currently on HBO Max, because I was like, that I need to check this out. I'm like, well, when's it airing? Because I need to see this. So I'm glad to know that it's up. And this is definitely something that people need to see and open their eyes to, because there needs to seriously be something done about people preying on young kids in this industry. I think that's, and I've reiterated, and I've said this so many times, that has been one of the main reasons why I've kind of shied away from getting into the industry at such a young age, because of all those things I was hearing on the come up, where sexual abuse and getting passed around and all these crazy things. But all you want to do is just use your talent and be famous and perform and do all these things, and you get these predators that just comes in and just fucks you up for majority of your life and makes you a hollow shell of yourself. But yeah, so shout out to the members of Menudo, and kudos for y'all for speaking up. I would have loved to have heard Ricky Martin's take on this, but I guess he ain't gonna speak out. He's still, you know, has a big career, so he's not gonna talk. So now, an Oklahoma movie theater that warned parents about a same-sex kiss, gasp, in the words of my girl from RuPaul's Drag Race, gasp, in the Disney Pixar film Lightyear, and promised to fast forward through a brief moment, had decided to show the film in full after the plan was mocked online. A notice on the front door of the 89er Theater in Kingfisher, Oklahoma read, "Warning, attention parents, the management of this theater found out after booking Lightyear that there's a same-sex kissing scene within the first 30 minutes of the Pixar movie. We will do all we can to fast forward through that scene," it promised, adding, "but it might not be exact." Now, some residents like Patricia Kazbeck initially thought the sign was a joke, which it unfortunately was not. When she realized it was a real warning, Kazbeck called the theater to complain. "I told them that it was completely insulting for them to send her a same-sex kiss when they've never done this to an opposite gender kiss." Now, others took to social media to share the clip in question, highlighting the absurdity of the backlash. Now, actor Kris Evans, who
acting.
Now, actor Kris Evans, who voices Buzz Lightyear, told Reuters Television earlier this month that those who object to the kiss are idiots. We couldn't agree more, I would have to say. He added, "There's always going to be people who are afraid and unaware of trying to hold on to what was before, but those people die off like dinosaurs. They also apparently try to fast forward theatrical releases." Now, Uzo Aduba, who voices one of the characters in the entirely uncontroversial lip lock, told USA Today, "This film treats love and these stories as they should, that they're not the whole of one person. It's addressed with the same simplicity that we address any kind of love, and I think that's the way it should be." Now, here's the thing. I also remember hearing that they originally were going to edit out the scene in the final cut, but decided to include it after employees protested them removing the kiss. Now, the film will not be shown in Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Kuwait, among other West Asian territories. Well, okay, whatever. We don't give a fuck about y'all. But meanwhile, y'all doing some damn Real Housewives of Dubai, which I heard is drier than an old lady's vagina. So I won't be watching that trash. I'm glad that it's failing for obvious reasons. But anyway, to talk about this is ridiculous. First of all, I saw the kiss. The kiss is less than 10 seconds. It's literally, she walks through the door, sees her partner, and they do a little peck on the lips. That's basically, it's that short and quick. So how the fuck you gonna fast forward something and not really get it on the line? Like, if parents don't want their kids to be exposed to homosexuality, then don't take them to the movies to see the movie. And you can't shelter your children from being exposed to things that are in the world that's different from them. Unless you want to wrap them in a damn bubble, because you're always going to be exposed to things that you don't like. Racist, you always going to see black people and always going to be reminded of reparations. You always going to be reminded of that shit, whether you want to hear it or not. Homophobes, you're always going to be reminded about gay people existing in the world, waving their flag proudly, and they're letting their flame burn bright, in the words of EMME Honeycutt. So, if y'all have a problem with representation, then I'm sorry, leave the planet if you can afford to. So that's all you need to do. So this it sounds so stupid, but I'm not surprised that Oklahoma would come up with an idea like that, would do something that's stupid. But they're about to get real mad because Disney is about to introduce a brand new LGBT animated film. Now, the film is called Strange World. I'm giving it a second. And it's going to feature an openly gay teenager. So shout out to Pink News for this story. Now, upcoming animated Disney film Strange World is to feature the studio's first openly gay teen romance in a feature, according to a production designer. The film is Quaid, Lucy Liu, Gabrielle Union, and Jabuki Young White. Yes, that's my baby. Dirty. It's scheduled to be released in November, and as Variety reports, contains a romantic plot between two teen boys. Matthew Sajeski, I think is how you say his name, an animated production designer, confirmed the romance on Twitter, stating, "I just saw the first glimpse into Disney. Just saw the first glimpse into Disney's Strange World. It features the first openly gay teen romance in a Disney feature." And here I thought of that movie. Was it Silencio Bruno? Was the first gay animated movie, but I digress. The scene describes a son, Ethan, played by Young White, being very shy in front of his boy crush, and his dad comes in and says, "So nice to meet you. My son talks about you all the time," and further embarrasses his son. Very cute. The film, which is announced at the Annecy International Animated Film Festival in France, follows a family of adventurers who travel to new worlds. Disney has been praised for refusing to remove the same-sex kiss, as we spoke about recently, from its new movie Lightyear, despite it being banned in 14 countries. The spin-off of the critically acclaimed Toy Story movie franchise will not make it in cinemas in several countries, including Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Lebanon. And yeah, we already talked about that, so we don't care. But I think this is awesome that this is happening. You know, this is all, you know, I love how Disney is handling this, you know, because this is the backlash of the Don't Say Gay bill that dumb Santis was trying to introduce over in Florida and trying to come at Disney over their pro-gay stance on situations. And I also heard that Disney is going to be, I don't want to mess it up, but I believe Disney is going to be one of the companies that, you know, when they recently announced, you know, the whole abortion abolishment situation, that Disney is going to be helping, you know, a lot of women who I believe are, I don't know if they're thinking about abortion. I'm going to have to do more research. I don't want to pretty much throw something out there, but so until I can articulate it correctly and not just be paraphrasing shit. But Disney is going to be getting behind women who, you know, helping out with abortion and sort of. I don't know if they're going to pay for your abortion, this and the other, but they are pro-choice, basically, is what I'm saying. Disney is shown their stance on being very pro-choice in other words. Alex, the creator of Gravity Falls, exposed Disney's blatant hypocrisy. I don't expect much. Well, yeah. I mean, I kind of look at Disney sometimes as, they're paying travel for abortion. That's what it is. So if you are working for, I guess, the company and you need to have an abortion because Florida is going to ban you from getting one, if you need to be able to go somewhere and they're going to provide the resources for you to do that should something transpire and something happen. But so kudos up. So you know what? It's great to see like Disney, you know, I guess the baby steps with them, but y'all need to kind of hurry up. So like I said, while TV continues to evolve in regards of true representation of LGBTQ people, the movies need to really step it up in regards of that representation. And it's similar to what we talked about last week with what's his name? When we talked about Tom Hanks and when he talked about making Philadelphia, and he was saying, oh, I don't think that I could be able to get away with a heterosexual person playing a gay character in today's world. And I'm like, not necessarily true, because straight people will always continue to get those roles. We'll continue to bitch about it, but straight people continue to get to play those roles where they get to go and be in a big screen and play a character who's either dying of AIDS, transitioning into a woman, or whatever the case is, and then win an Oscar or an Emmy for it. Like Jared Leto playing a mess and that sort of thing. But anyway, so let's get into our final story. So shout out to them. So you know what? I'll believe it when I see it. When this animated film comes out, seeing the Crush thing. But if y'all include like, I'll be with y'all 100,000% when y'all incorporate a same-sex kiss in that. And it lasts longer than a damn peck. So I guess baby steps, right? So, child, let's talk about this mess that is basketball-wise, Bad Boys Club Atlanta. So, as y'all may have heard, there's been an ongoing battle between Milan and his Bad Boys ATL and the Zeus Network with Bad Boys LA. Lemmy and them over at Zeus is claiming that Milan has no reason to be using the Bad Boys name when they own the rights to it. But Milan, shout out to him for this. And you know, I go my back and forth with him, especially with the things on the show, and we are Facebook friends. But the thing that I have to give him props for is the fact that he gave flowers to Karan and over at Gemini Films, who was the first one to do Bad Boys Club, which is currently in its 7th season over on YouTube. So while Zeus Network is over here building their whole foundation, their whole website or streaming service off the backs of every ratchet piece of programming that they snatched from over at VH1, at least Milan is out here giving their flowers. Now, what they need to do is they need to change that damn name and call this show Fight Club, because that's all I've been seeing at these auditions. Y'all out here beating the shit out of each other and y'all not even getting on the damn show. So I don't really understand the whole point of y'all out here fist fighting and doing all kinds of dragging people by their hair and all this other shit, only to not make the show, make the cut. So you out here just doing all this bullshit for nothing. But anyway, we got this Milan versus Zeus clip. Hopefully it's the clip that we have of him giving Karan his flowers. So let's play that clip and then we'll come back with this other part of the story where Miss a former porn star or whatever got into a whole fight with Rio. So we're gonna talk about that. Roll the clip.
Dear Zeus, dear Lemuel Plumber, dear Natalie Nunn, sweetie, you don't own the rights to a fuck-ass thing. It's a Bad Boys movie, Bad Boys Records, and there has been tons of motherfucking Bad Boys TV shows before you even came out with motherfucking Bad Boys LA. So releasing a statement saying your intellectual property, you don't have any intellectual property that has anything to do with Bad Boys Atlanta, which has actually been copyrighted and trademarked by me. So go mind your motherfucking business, bitch. And with that being said, make sure you guys come out to June 18th for the Bad Boys Atlanta casting call. Make sure you click on MCTV Streaming Network and fill out your applications so you guys can come out and have the opportunity to be on a new show.
So there's been a lot of fighting and stuff going on, and I wasn't really finding out any of this stuff that was going on because I had no idea this until a friend of mine by the name of Ron Sojo posted this on his page. And so I'm gonna read y'all what had happened. So apparently I'm not gonna read the beginning because there's a lot of F words and all kinds of other stuff in here. So I'm gonna just give y'all what he said, and I'm gonna read it as it's written. So do y'all remember this Hobbit Gollum from the Lord of the Rings looking ass bitch, Bruce Jackson? Well, the mutant himself has returned from whatever cave or rock he crawled from and ended up getting into a physical altercation with Rio Scott at the Bad Boys Club audition because of a previous dispute they had over a photography session. So anywho, years back when I addressed Bruce Jackson, he previously got into it with Cash De Niro, and Cash literally threatened to whip his ass because of some shots Bruce threw at him regarding some scenes that was done with the Breed It Raw company, and this idiot ends up calling the police on the entire company, including Cash, because he felt threatened. Fast forward years later, before Bruce ended up disappearing just to avoid getting his teeth knocked out, Bruce left porn alone and ended up becoming a photographer. I ain't seen none of his work, but if that's what you calling yourself, be my guest. During this time, Bruce also heard about an opportunity to get on TV and decided that he wanted to be part of the Bad Boys Club audition as well. Soon as he gets there, all hell breaks loose, and not only did Rio whip his ass, sidebar, Rio actually whipped somebody's ass on TV. Let's continue. So did others as well. Now, his ass whooping was personal simply because apparently Bruce told some messy lies about recommending him to another photographer, but tried to end up sexually harassing him by trying to suck SHD, not SMD, SHD, and F him. So after the beat down on camera, Bruce said he was going to press charges and accuse Rio of stealing his laptop as well and being paid by Milan to beat his ass. The rest afterwards involved Rio dragging his ass for lying, but we don't know if Milan truly had anything to do with this as well, but considering how messy Milan is, I wouldn't be surprised either. Overall, this is way too much for me to process. It's just plain dumb. Well, child, I'm going to have to just say that at the end of the sentence. It is too much for me to process because I still don't understand the whole origin of why. Okay, Bruce Jackson, you went to an audition. Like, did you not understand the assignment? Did you not read what needed to be read? Like, did you not know that this was a Milan Christopher production? Like, you knew enough to go down to the audition, but did you think you could just show up and they were just gonna forget? So where does the whole idea of Milan having something to do with you getting your ass beat when maybe he didn't even know you was coming down there? Maybe it just so happened, oh, they saw you in the line, he was like, oh, get him, Jade. Like that sort of situation. Rio went out there and did Milan's bidding like he did when he was on Bad Boys Club and thought he was gonna beat old boy ass. What's his name? Was it Anthony? No, Anthony Uncensored. That's the high yellow one. Where he went to beat old boy ass, and old boy beat his ass 4 damn times in one episode. Jonathan was his name. So I don't understand. Okay, so you went down to audition thinking you was gonna make it somewhere, but then you just got your ass beat on camera, and you probably not still gonna make the show. But just for context, I'm gonna show you this fight. Roll the clip. Shout out to Real T for the clip, by the way. Once again, T.
I got a question. Who's the baddest bad boy out here? All right, wait. Repeat after me. Fuck Natalie Nunn. Fuck Natalie Nunn. Fuck Zeus. Fuck Natalie Nunn. Fuck Zeus. Let's go.
You have such a cute baby.
Oh, that.
Ooh, that was good. Rio, no, stop, Rio.
Child, damn man. All that nigga nonsense. I just don't understand the buffoonery, the foolishness. All this for what? And that show gonna be stupid. Like, it's just, I even thought the Bad Boys Club on Zeus was stupid. Like, y'all had moments where y'all did hit on some topics that I thought made the show stand out in so many ways, but the stage fighting overshadowed all the things that y'all talked about. Like, the fact that queer people always have to dim their light so they make straight people feel comfortable in a lot of spaces. That was Bruce and Rio fighting over some bullshit. I still don't understand what the fuck it was about. Even with Ron explaining everything, I'm still confused. Like, why y'all fighting over somebody trying to suck your dick at a photo shoot a couple of years ago? It just sounds so dumb to me. Like, I just don't understand. Like, to me, I like Ratchet TV. I'm here for the Ratchet TV. I'm here for the nonsense, but it needs to feel like it makes sense. Like, y'all, to me, it just feels like y'all just trying to fight for the sake of fighting, just because y'all thinking like beating somebody up or punching somebody, kicking somebody, or just fighting, just gonna give y'all 15 minutes. And yeah, it'll give you your 15 minutes, but here's the difference between, you know, this show and what Karan is doing. Karan has those fights on there, but it's a build up to it. It's not just they fighting for the sake of fighting. Sometimes alcohol tends to bring out the worst in people, especially when you have one particular person on that show that was trying to have sex with every goddamn body in the house, over in the corner against the whole house. But you was acting like a complete hoe in the first episode. And there's a lot of context for a lot of the characters. Or I don't want to say characters, these are real people, but just a lot of, like, it's just a full-on gay cast of boys. Ain't no girls up in there, ain't no one straight man, so that way you can bring the heterosexuals over to watch this. Because ain't no straight guys watching no damn Bad Boys Club. Trust and believe. And to me, it's like, where's this show going? Because Milan talking about creating his own streaming service off of one show? If I'm not spending money for no damn BET Plus for a bunch of old shows they took from the You People's Network and BET, and you only got two original piece of programming. You got B-Boy Blues, the movie, which I already saw, and the upcoming College Hill reality show with Nene and them for some $10. I'm not subscribing to no streaming service that you created for one damn show. Fuck out of here. You better ask Mona Scott to help you out. Well, we'll see how this whole thing transpires. But for the most part, I don't honestly know. I just feel like this is just some dumb shit. Fighting for nothing. It just y'all just out here looking dumb. But you know, we gotta have that balance where we have Billy Porter doing things out here for queer people of color in regards of creating content, which gives good representation. We gotta have that balance. So we gotta have the Ratchet TV. And that's where Bad Boys Club comes in. Or Bad Boys. And I ain't seen no bad boys in that crowd, but we'll see when you concoct your show into whatever it's going to be, where you had your audition at the Bailey agency, which I found it funny. There were some people that had no idea that Cynthia Bailey had an agency. But I was like, yeah, if you watched if you watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, then you know that she had a show. I mean, she had an agency. I don't know what agency what kind of fashion stuff she doing, but she got a building where people, I guess, get to rent it out and they can all do whatever they do in there. So whatever. But anyway, so I guess we're at the end of our show, our all LGBT edition of Kris Avalon Unfiltered. Thank you all for watching. Yet again, another brand new episode. I hope you all will enjoy this upcoming Pride weekend. We have we got the big mainstream Pride happening tomorrow. I know today, I believe, was Harlem Pride. So yeah, that was unfortunately I didn't get to go to Harlem Pride. It was just a lot going on. I was prepping for this this show. Apparently, they want me to keep talking. But well, since that's the case, I'm gonna bring up another topic, and that is there's this show on called Love Island. I don't know if y'all ever seen it, but Megan Barton Hansen is calling for an all LGBTQ season. Now we have seen some sort of LGBTQ representation, and that would be with what was the show? Are You the One? They did an all queer season. I know Bobby Lights has a show. I Love You, Bobby, purr, whatever it's called. With oh my god, what's that child name? Roland Ray. So that's coming. Miss Vanjie has a dating show on Wow Presents Plus, where Josiah is one of, remember him from the challenge and other things and OnlyFans. They tried to out his OnlyFans and shit on an episode too. Child, y'all look messy. But yeah, he has and I've seen him in person. That's a pretty man, I want to say. And I saw him recently. He walks balls. I did not know that, but of course he walking face and body, bitch. Like what else is Josiah walking at a ball? So yeah, he I just recently saw that he walked the ball, and so I think it's on his Instagram. I know he's been putting out music and stuff as well, but so yeah, so there have been in some shape or form other dating shows, but I've never seen Love Island. I don't even know. Do they do an American version? But anyway, so former Love Island star Megan Barton Hansen is tired of waiting for the LGBTQ inclusive version of the show and is urging producers to get a move on. Now, in an interview with Bustle, the reality star doubled down on her desire for a fully LGBTQ cast on the notorious reality dating show. Now, Barton Hansen came out publicly as bisexual after her split from Love Island beau Wes Nelson, but now identifies as more pansexual, as per Bustle. She said, "We definitely need a fully LGBTQ plus Love Island cast one day. We need to speed this ish up. This isn't the first time Barton Hansen has expressed support for a queer season of Love Island. In 2021, in conversation with Cambridge Union Debating Society, she said that we would return if there was a proper gay season. Now, if you're going to do it properly. I mean, I definitely go back on there, Love Island, if there's a gay season. We need a whole gay season, I feel, because it just wouldn't work chucking a few gay guys and gay girls into a straight show." And I have to say that, you know what? I agree with that. That we don't need another show where, but we need to have straight people in the background in order for a queer show to work. I've been advocating for an LGBTQ representative or representation type of show forever. It just seems like Hollywood is so scared to kind of like push that button. That Love Island could include LGBTQ plus people if they really wanted to. And it's like, at the end of the day, maybe it's because they don't have enough LGBTQ people working behind the scenes, that there aren't a lot of producers or a lot of movers and shakers that can make that happen. Wait, what is that? Yeah, that can actually make that happen. So my thing is, I would love to see this. I feel like we need to push this forward. And if I need to get up on my ass to make this shit happen, because I have, or may not know, but I do talk a lot about this behind the scenes with production. Hey, Jay. That I want to, like, I have so many, I watch a lot of reality TV, and I have so many ideas where we can have queer versions of some of y'all favorite shows. And there needs to be that representation. And if it needs to be for me to get out there and make this shit happen, producing it, hosting it, whatever I need, or both, I'm gonna make this happen, because I'm tired of the fact that we're not getting the representation we need. And yeah, sometimes it's gonna be messy. Sometimes we ain't gonna be pitch perfect, but there's an audience for it. Just like Bad Boys is out here making ratchet TV, and yeah, some people feel, this is not a good representation. Child, the gays are messy. The gays be out here fighting. I see the shit. I live in New York. So for y'all to sit up here and try to say that is not a representation, it is a form of representation. We got ratchet gays. We got gays that be out here pulling each other's hair, fighting over men and doing all kinds of craziness. Or somebody said something to them, looked at them the wrong when they out here fighting. So, yeah, so I'm here for it. I feel like that representation needs to happen, and people need to stop being so scared or worrying about advertising, whatever the case is, because there are plenty of people out here who who are willing to get behind and represent the LGBTQ community. And I'm not saying just for Pride Month, because that shit gets on my damn nerves too. But the only time a lot of you organizations want to come out for us is for the month of June. But my question is, y'all out here trying to, put y'all rainbow flags, but every company that I didn't even know y'all was for the gays to begin with. But where's that money going? Is it going in y'all pockets? Because you trying to let people know that, oh, Burger King, they love the gays because y'all got 2 top buns and 2 bottom buns. Or, your favorite bank has been accused of homophobia, all of a sudden got a rainbow flag and all is forgiven. Like, where's that money going? But I digress. So, it'll happen one day, as long as, I have to make it happen, in the words of Mariah Carey. So I guess we have a Milan and Bad Boys Club clip. Is that what we're talking about? Or is that something?
What's going on, how to move, how to maneuver. And also, I think it's important for y'all to understand that Bad Boys Club was created by a guy named Karan on Gemini Films 8 years ago. Okay? Gemini Films Bad Boys Club is on their 8th season. They're on their 8th season. It's been on the fucking internet for years. Natalie never, ever created that show. And that's why they didn't trademark it. That's why they didn't LLC it. That's why they don't have no rights to anything. If you guys go to your search engines right now and type in Bad Boys LA, you guys go type in your search engine badboyshouston.com. You're gonna see who owns all of that. Okay? So go ahead, do yourselves a favor and stop listening to the ops.
What he said. That's why I said I had to give Karan his shout out. And shout out to T News Blog for that. They're over on Instagram. They had that was where that clip came from. So shout out to y'all for having that clip and letting us use it. So, and child, why the hell was Moolah there? So Moolah don't like the gays, right? But Miss Thing up in here got her head attached to Milan ass like the human centipede because he looking to get put on beyond that tight ass radio show that nobody listening to. So kudos and shout out to Milan for giving props to Gemini Films. And it's like, yeah, I've been said that. I've been said Nally wide back ass ain't invent no damn Bad Boys. Yeah, bitch, you was on a season of Bad Girls Club. You did not invent the Bad Boys moniker. You did not invent the Bad Boys name. You came to Lemmy with a damn idea, and because your name carries some sort of weight within reality TV, it got made. But you don't own Bad Boys. That is a Karan production. He has had access and resources to that for years. Now, it's unfortunate because this is a situation where the little man doesn't get the props because he doesn't have a lot of the financial resources to do what needs to be done. Because we hear a lot of time, like a lot of what he does comes from donations, where people are donating money and that sort of thing. And I even said, like, I'm a fan of Karan's stuff. I like the Bad Boys. I like The Come Up. I've watched a lot of those shows. And bitch, if you need a host, if you need some coins to help out and you give me a producer's credit, I'm here for it. Like, I'll help him out before I help out a damn Natalie Nunn. I don't like that bitch. Because there was some shit that she said on that show and problematic for me. So, whatever, girl. But anyway, so we are coming to a close on this show. And I want to say we're at the end of the show as we know it. Thank you all for watching. As we were going to stop it earlier, but I had to stall for time so we get that clip. Thank you all. Thanks for production for helping me put together such yet an amazing smooth sailing show. Thank you all for watching and continuing to support the show. Please click like, subscribe, hashtag, tell your friends, follow me, do all that stuff. Let's go. Let's get this show viral. Let's let people hear and know about Kris Avalon Unfiltered, the one place where you get the real tea on some real shit. Okay. Like a lot of people run out here talking about they the number one news source when y'all just clickbaiting and shit. I'm out here really putting in the work and giving y'all what needs to be given in a 2-hour show once a week. So thank you all for watching. And I oop and love you all. Come back next week for a brand new episode. Yeah, we're doing one for July 4th weekend. Ciao, darlings.
Unfiltered, filtered, filtered, filtered.